Hey guys, welcome back. So what you see before you is a varietal assortment of different things, most of which of the purple variety, even my brush. So what I have here is one of my silicone inlays that I made by making some little boats out of aluminum foil and then pouring silicone over it to give it this really interesting rocky, craggy, geode kind of thing pattern. And what I'm going to do with that is I am going to brush over some of it with my Aurora Purple powder here. And I'm going to focus most of it here in the middle. Actually, all of it, all over. I'm not entirely sure what I was thinking when that came out of my mouth, but hey, I'm just going to go over it and brush it all in. Because what I want to make, theoretically, is an amethyst tray. So that's what we're going to try for here. If it works, great. If it doesn't, okay. But what you'll see underneath everything is a piece of my new favorite friend, Glad Present Seal. And that just keeps the mica powder and whatnot pretty much off my board so I don't have to mess with it. Because we all know how much mica powder loves to stick to stuff. And I just kind of in that mood right now that I just really don't want to have to clean off my board too much. So that's why I'm using the Present Seal. Not sponsored. All right, so now that we've got that good and on there, make sure that I have it good and on there. Okay. So there. Now, I love these little Aurora powders. I have them linked in my description box. I love them. The colors are gorgeous. My only qualm with it is the container is very, very hard to maneuver. So that's that. All right, so what I'm going to do with this is uninstall my Present Seal. Silicone mold and all. And we are going to grab our mold, which is this one. It is a small oval mold. And I am just going to be putting our inlay in the middle-ish of that. And then take my Present Seal so I don't get it over my hands and just make sure that it's good and on there. All right, so now that we've done that, we're going to go in with some other stuff. Now, over here, I have about 2 ounces of my Bond Crafter 1-to-1, and I have added some of my Mayspring Violet Crystal, okay, mica powder. Over here, I have about 2.5 ounces of resin with 8 drops of my About Alcohol ink in Violet. Here, you can probably see it better if I put it over there. And then I have 2 ounces of clear sitting back here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go through and dribble each one around and over and up and down and neary and whatnot around the edges. And just kind of mix them in as I go. You guys can kind of get the gist of where I'm going with this. And then for the middle, actually, I think I'm going to do more of the clear purple, or the purple alcohol. I'm just going to put that all in there just because I think that that would be pretty. There's that. Okay. And now I'm going to use the clear. Just go in and fill in the blanks. Now I made 6 ounces because this is a 6-ounce tray, but that inlay in there takes up a pretty significant portion of the space. So we'll have some left over of these, mica powder and the regular mica variety, which I'm fine with. Hey. But that's basically the tall and short of it. Just going to get some bubbles off of here with tiny torch. Be careful just to go slimly. And then we're just going to let those colors kind of go where they want to go and do their thing. And then we'll demold it, and hopefully it will be fabulous. So I will see you guys then. All right, guys, it's time. And you can see that with my extra resin, I made a couple of extra little projects here. Ooh, we made some purple wings from my Into Resin Crystal Angel Wings mold. This is one of the molds that I made with the tinfoil that I just kind of wanted to see what the internal pattern was. So I just poured some of the clear resin in there and added some alcohol ink and, made something fun. And then we have the star of the show here. So let's get out our extras first and see how they turned out. This one's still a little bit soft, but it's okay. He's done. He's just, oh, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Didn't he turn out sweet? Sparkly, sparkle, 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 sparkle. Very sweet. See? I love him. Very cute. I love that mold. And like I mentioned in the original Into Resin Crystal Angel mold video, I do have a 20% discount for InnoResin. It's in the description box. You can use it for your whole order, not just on, that mold, but anything that you want. So let's do our, kind of looks like a dragon tail or a really, really moist mountain range. But there are some bubbles in it because I wasn't, just like I told Captain Critter, I wasn't really very pedantic about pouring it. I just kind of wanted to get the general shape of what it's going to look like. But let's see what it's going to look like. Ooh, ooh, that looks cool, actually. Look at that. I like that. That would make a very cool GOD middle-y GOD thing. So yeah, that's kind of cool. And how I got them so shiny on the the foil part is I used the shiny side of the foil. So, because foil has 2 sides, one shiny and one not shiny. And why in the world does Captain Critter think that right now, while I'm filming, is an appropriate time to get gummy bears out of a really loudly packaged product? Hmm? Why do you think that is? Anyway, back to our project here. Let's get this guy out. Let's see what it looks like. All right. It looks like we did have some resin go under our inlay, which is fine. Not a big deal. We can always just, take that off. Let's get it out, shall we? Move you guys in a little bit more for this so you can see a little bit better now that we don't have as much to look at. Give you more of a focal point. How does that sound? All right, foil inlay. Oh, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Look at that. Oh, that looks wicked cool. Look at that. That is awesome. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool. And you know what it needs? It needs some gold. It needs some shiny goldness. So, what we're going to use for that is some of our variegated foil gilding flaky things. And for that, we need resin seal. That's right. Because this stuff gets everywhere. Pardon the crinkling. One thing about, that cling film, whatever, the clingy variety is a nightmare to get off the roll. So let me put this down. Then we can open up our gilding foil flaky foily flakes with relative confidence that it's not going to go everywhere. I say relative confidence. And then what I'm going to do, actually, I'm not going to use that brush. I'm going to use this brush. This is just Duraclear Gloss Varnish. And that's all it is. It's just a gloss varnish. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit on my film here off to the side. Take a paintbrush and just kind of go around the edges here where I want it. And when I've got that first layer done, I'll go in with some of my foil here and stick it to that varnish. So it sticks. You can see I'm not being terribly picky with where it's going, generally. Because excess will come off where it's not stuck down, right? So I can always brush it off in the places that it's not supposed to be. So I really don't like that piece. It looks more like a piece of bad parsley. Sometimes it's just easier to use your hands. And I'm even going to go in and touch some of the tops here. I'm running out of sticky juice. More sticky juice. Purple Mountain's Majesty. Right? There we go. How does that look? You like it? I do. I think it looks pretty cool. Just gonna burnish some of these little pieces in. They're sticking up a little bit more than the others. That looks super cool. I like that a lot. Now, you're probably thinking, well, you can't use it for anything because you filled it with foil and glue and stuff like that. Well, you're wrong. I mean, you're wrong about not being able to use it because once all of this gets dry and I'm able to put a resin top coaty thing happening inside, I'm going to do that. So that's going to happen. And as soon as it is ready for that, I will bring you back. See you then. When you forget to turn on the camera. Yeah. So what I have here is just some Gorilla Super Glue. And I am going around some of the edges here and just spludging some on here. Spludge, spludge, spludge. You know, nothing, not being real fancy about it. Then I'm taking some of these purple mirrored glass chips and just sprinkling them down in there, sort of smushing. And what sticks, sticks, and what doesn't is going to end up in the bottom. So that's what I'm doing there. But I just kind of wanted to let you see what's going on while our other stuff is drying. We're going to let this stuff dry too. Yeah, we're going to have like a little crystal caverny thingy going on here, which I think looks rather nifty. But at any rate, as soon as this dries, we'll be ready for resin. See you then. If you're unfamiliar with mirrored glass, it's just like any other mirror. It has a mirrored side and a matte side. So what I've done is I've gone through and tried to flip all of the matte sides that I saw up to the mirror side so you can see the shiny part, not the boring, dull matte part. And underneath, you'll notice I have put on some obnoxious blue tape because I also noticed that there were a couple of only very thin spots where the inlay was very deep into the mold, and I don't want it leaking all over the place. So therefore, I put some blue resin tape on the bottom to try to mitigate that because no one likes a leaky bottom. So I'm going to pour this, 2 ounces of my Bond Crafter 1-to-1 that I have mixed up, and I am going to pour it gently into the Amethyst River. And I don't know how much it's going to take. That's why I made 2 ounces, just to be on the safe side, because it was a rather deep inlay. We'll get that poured on and in and on. Give hand cam a little FaceTime today. You know you love hand cam. Come on, admit it. And boy, that purple just really comes out to say hello. Holy moly. It is just enough to cover without being too thick. There is a string or something on my stick. How dare it? Relieve my stick of that offender. But man, oh man, look at that. That already looks cool. I just want to make sure that I get all the corners covered. Go through, get any sticky bits, any bubbles or anything like that from around the edges. And it'll self-level beautifully, just like it always does. So let's give this a hit with Tiny Torch. First, get the paper cup out of the way. I don't have to worry about burning my mold because there isn't one anymore. Oh, look at that. Isn't that neat looking? I think it's neat looking. You guys might be looking at it going, what in the world is that woman thinking? But I think that's generally always the case with me, isn't it? All right, guys. So I'm going to let this cure, although you can kind of see, what it's going to look like afterward. But for video's sake, I'll see you guys when it's time to take the tape off of that. See you then. What do you think? Off camera, I went around the edges with a bronze Let's Resin chrome marker pen, and I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I absolutely think that it is so stinking cool. You can see those mirror pieces on the inside and the gold flake. And then the rim, are there some hickeys around the rim? Yeah. Do I care? Nah. This is for me. This is awesome. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I would love to hear it. And thank you so much for being here for this experiment. As always, I appreciate you guys more than you know, and I hope to see you again on the next one. Take care, guys. Cheers.